Welcome back to the show, Extra Rich. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you are new and hit the bell button next to it so you're notified whenever these videos drop. I know I've been MIA for a few days and I apologize. I've been crazy busy, but we back at it. All right. On the menu for today, we have the protest in LA. Let's jump into it.
Under a rock, you guys already know what's going on in LA with the ICE raids and everything else. I know there's a lot of mixed feelings out there. And trust me, this is from someone that came from an immigrant family, a Mexican immigrant family, right? So I feel I have a unique perspective because I worked at ICE detention facilities for over 8 years, because I was, law enforcement with the U.S. Marshals. So I got to see a little bit of what happened in the background. Got a lot of friends also that are ICE agents, right? That are ERO ICE agents, Enforcement Removal Operation ICE agents. What I can tell you is this: these agents are out there doing their job, okay? Whether you agree with it or not, whether you agree with the laws, with the immigration laws of this country or not, they're laws. These federal agencies, ICE agent, ERO, fucking HSI, marshals, whoever, DEA, all the FBI, everyone's out there helping the Department of Homeland Security right now. These guys are doing their job, right? They're enforcing the laws that certain politicians, certain sanctuary cities, sanctuary states in our case, failed to enforce. They failed to enforce these laws and they got out of control, and now this is what's happening. I'm sure some of those people are hardworking people, that I understand they have families, they have kids, people of good, people that mean well. But if they're here in the country illegally, it's illegal. It's in the word, right? And before I hear anyone say anything about me being a hypocrite because I'm Mexican, right? Let me remind everyone that my family came here the legal way. My grandparents, which were fucking busted their ass working in the fields, picking crops, came here the legal way. It's hard for me to understand how people can be so outraged when they're held accountable, right? They're being arrested, they're being deported because they're here illegally, because they overstayed their visas or they came here into the country illegally, and they're still fucking getting mad. And then what's up with everyone? All the fucking everything that's going on the freeways. I saw some videos with the highway patrol vehicles getting smashed with rocks, people throwing shit at ICE agents.
I've seen some crazy stuff myself in some of these clips, police officers being hit in the head with bricks. Yeah, crazy. But I also saw a protester, pull out a firearm and send rounds in the direction of the officers. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff, man. Molotov cocktails being thrown. And then you have, some of these Democrats out here, these Democrat politicians mainly in mainstream media, saying these are peaceful protests. There's nothing peaceful about these protests. Not a single thing. Throwing bricks through ICE agents' windshields is not peaceful. That's not peaceful. Now, if they were out here genuinely peacefully protesting, okay, that's one thing. Protest all day, every day, however long you want to protest. I ain't got time for that. But if you want to peacefully protest, that is your right here in America. But throwing bricks through ICE agents' windshields, that's not peaceful. Hitting police officers in the head with bricks, that's not peaceful. It's not peaceful. You can disagree with what they're doing, but you shouldn't be able to assault folks. That's crazy. And we're already seeing some of those people actually get arrested, even with them wearing masks and helmets and everything else to try to cover their identity, as if the FBI doesn't have ways to figure out who you are. Come on now. Just because you put a face mask on doesn't mean we're all of a sudden not going to know who you are or figure out who you are. And Pam Bondi has already come out and talked about some of that stuff. Like, I saw a video of there's a video of a 40-year-old man, 40. He's a legal citizen, but he's 40 years old, throwing bricks at ICE agents' vehicles. And he had like a whole helmet on to try to cover his face and everything. They still figured out who he was. And they're on the hunt for him. $50,000 reward, if I remember correctly. $50,000 if you find out where he is and give that information to the authorities. You can have a check for $50,000 in your pocket. So, yeah, if y'all know about who he is, I forgot the guy's name, but you could have $50,000 extra dollars, and in today's time, $50K, he better hope I don't see him. Because he can report it. Boy, I tell you, I need that check. But anyway, yeah, this is crazy stuff, man. Protesting because you're being held accountable for your actions. You came to this country illegally. You knew that, and you're being deported, so you're angry? Try that in another country. Try that in some of these other countries. You're getting arrested. In some countries, you ain't just getting arrested. We ain't gonna ever find you again. And if we ever do, you just gonna be a pile of bones somewhere. Like, I don't think people really understand what happens in some of these other countries. If you overstayed your visa in Mexico, or stay in Mexico, they're deporting you behind. You getting up out of there. That's facts. You cannot stay in Mexico past what you're supposed to stay. And they fine you. I think the fine is like $40, but they still fine you. So not only do you have to pay the Mexican government, okay, if you overstay, but also they're making sure that you're getting up out of the country. They will take you to the facility and will not let you leave until you buy a plane ticket out of Mexico, until you prove that you're about to leave. That's facts. You can look this up. Matter of fact, I came across a video of a similar situation. That's facts. So for some of these folks to act like you could just do this in every country on this planet, like, no, you can't. Every country has immigration laws. In some countries, their immigration laws are really, really harsh. If you try to cross the border illegally, they have firearms and they're authorized to use them. You might get put in the pine box. You try to cross into some of these countries. I believe one of those countries is Poland. I believe it's Poland. If you try to come into Poland illegally, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's Poland. But if you try to go into Poland illegally and they catch you, you could be put 6 feet in the dirt. Like, they ain't playing. So deporting people who are here illegally, I don't care if you've been here for 40 years, just because you came here and you started a family, that doesn't absolve you from being here illegally. And that's another thing. I think we should get rid of birthright citizenship. I think that's crazy. The fact that you can just cross the border illegally and have kids, and now those kids are legal citizens. How does that even make sense? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. Any illegal who's pregnant or wants to get pregnant can just cross into the country illegally, remain undetected until it's time to have the baby, and then show up at some hospital, and now that baby is a legal citizen. Like, nah, bro, that's crazy. That's crazy work. Get rid of that, and make sure the border is closed and secure, and deport every single illegal person that is in this country immediately. Every single one. You can come here legally through the correct process, but that's it. Anyway.
U.S. Marshals bus getting fucking blocked, getting attacked. What's the deal with that? Everyone's waving their Mexican flag. Everyone's so outraged, right? Not understanding that they're impeding the fucking traffic. They're impeding the freeway. People are going to work. People, are going to the hospital, to fucking doctor's appointments. Women are on their way to the fucking hospital to give birth. People are on fucking ambulances with a heart attack, and you guys are blocking the fucking road. That's not protesting. That is not fucking protesting. Blocking
Facts.
the road and interrupting everyone else's fucking life is not protesting. And it's fucking shitty, because all I see, the majority of the flags that I see being flown are Mexican flags. And it's fucked up, and it's shitty because I don't associate with myself with fucking lawlessness. But anyway, you got the LA mayor, you have the Governor Newsom saying that it's Trump's fault, that it's ICE agents' fault, as if these people weren't here illegally in the country. It's almost like we've dealt with it for so long, and it's been part of our culture, and it's been, especially here in California, right? Sanctuary, and fucking New York and other.
Democrats are protesting it so hard, and especially Democrat politicians, because it's also going to have implications on the Electoral College. I saw a report today that said as many as 10% of LA County is illegal. 10%. That's over 1 million people. 1 million people in LA County, in LA alone, are illegal aliens. Illegal. That's crazy. That's an invasion. You allowed over 1 million people in one county illegally. Come on, bro. That's crazy. Like I said, I think it's going to affect the Electoral College come 2030 when the census comes back around. So I think that's one of the reasons why Democrats are so angry about this whole situation. And, to address the whole Mexican flag thing, it's one thing to be proud of where you're from. I'm cool with that. I'm fine with that. But to do that while burning the American flag, I saw a video yesterday, I think it was yesterday, of a guy who stated it perfectly, in my humble opinion. He said, nobody loves Mexico the most except people who won't go back to Mexico. Nobody, no, I'm sorry. I think I said that wrong. Nobody loves Mexico more than people who won't go back to Mexico. These protesters are out here burning American flags, saying America is so terrible. It's this, it's that, it's trash, and blah, blah, blah. Flying their Mexico flags, but they won't go back to Mexico. Make it make sense. If Mexico is so great and America is so terrible, then get to stepping. Get to stepping. What are you doing? We ain't keeping you here. We aren't stopping you from leaving. Get to stepping. That's one thing that I don't understand when people sit around and cry and complain. Oh, America is so terrible. America is so terrible. America this, America that. Well, then go to wherever it's great. Bye. See ya. Don't come back. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Go to wherever you think it's great. Since America is so terrible, it's so bad, it's mistreating you so horribly, then go to wherever you think it's great. See ya. Problem is they won't. And there's a reason why, and we all know that. But anyway, y'all let me know your thoughts and your opinions on this in the comments. Make sure you guys hit that like button for the algorithm. I would greatly appreciate it. What y'all thinking about this, man? This stuff is crazy. Absolutely crazy. I agree with Trump. Keep doing your thing, Trump, and deport all of these illegals. Do not let them stay here, especially if they're out here rioting in the streets, burning American flags and setting cars on fire and hitting cops in the head with bricks. Kick these people out of the country immediately. But what do y'all think? Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell next to it so you're notified when these videos drop. Peace.